Hey YouTube, here's Heiko. We're outside front of my garage. I'm tinkering around with my 2017 Nissan Frontier, and I'm working on some retrofitting of some items. Just recently got a camper shell, as you can see. It's a yeah, it's a used one. It's a beater, pretty ugly, and still needs to be painted to match vehicle, or maybe I give it some off-roady look with some textured finish. We'll figure that out once the winter is over. In the meantime, I wanted everything to work, especially the third brake light. There's so many people driving around with broken taillights and brake lights, and it's always just a matter of waiting for someone to rear end you when you're driving around with no brake lights. So I wanted to make sure that the snow covered third brake light up there somewhere is working. Um, since this is a 2017 Frontier and not a 20-year-old vehicle, I don't like to just snip into the vehicle's own wiring harness and then splice in and solder and crimp and all that other stuff. So I came up with a solution to the problem. I was able to make my own wiring loom for the third brake light. It's not quite finished yet. Um, we'll have to reroute this a little bit, hide it a little better. But I want to show you how I came up with a method that doesn't require modifying your vehicle's wiring harness, and no cutting, no splicing, no crimping or soldering. So let me turn the camera around and then I'm going to show you what I did. Kind of picked a pretty cold day, but was time for me to come up with another YouTube video. So as I said, third brake light, the wiring runs inside the door frame here and then comes out here in this little chintzy little loom. And then most people, they would just use those quick connect splice connectors that you can buy. They just pinch onto the existing wiring, damage the insulation, and then make a connection. Here in my case, I wanted to do that without messing with the vehicle's wiring harness. As you can see here, this is behind the left tail light. This is the original wiring harness. This is the original connector that goes onto the tail light here. That is tail light and brake light in one. Three wires going in, and those plastic connectors, they actually have part numbers on it. This one here says 11020. It's a part number. I found it in the Toyota parts catalog. Toyota wants $25 for just the housing. No connectors, no seals, no nothing. And then I just Googled around a little bit and I was able to find Corsa Technic. And this is the part number for, no, that's a different one. Hold on, this is a two pin connector. Disregard the part number. So I was able to get another taillight connector and then the male opposite, as you can see. So this is the original that would have been here. This is the male version, that's the female version that goes onto the taillight. So I was able to make my own little wiring loom that just clips right in between the original connector and the taillight, and then fed the wires right through here. For now, I just have some shrink tubing around it. I secured it here on the side and put a couple spade connectors on there just so I can make this work. Eventually, this camper shell, since it's off color and completely beat up by the sun, is going to get painted. At the same time, I'm going to replace the third brake light because one segment in the middle is broken. But I don't want to replace it until I actually get around sanding this and painting it, and then I'm going to put a new brake light in there. But yeah, I was able to clip this in here, its own wiring loom. I most likely will drill a hole here somewhere and come out on the inside of the camper shell, and then I might find a 2-pin connector, maybe that one. Corsa Technic, I will leave the webpage down below. They have all kinds of connectors, all kinds of different models, different applications. You can even search on their webpage by vehicle brand, and then they can show you what kind of connectors they have available. They have crimping tools. These connectors here. So this is a 2-pin version. This is a 3-pin version. Like I said, I followed the part number that's actually on the connector itself, and then they will always show you the corresponding opposite. So if you buy the female version, they show you the male version. They also give you choices for those little rubber seals that are in here, depending on what kind of wire gauge and insulation diameter you use. This type of uninsulated crimp connector here is designed so that the little rubber seals, they get crimped in to the actual connector here at the back. Unfortunately, I don't have the correct crimping tool. I do have a crimping tool for uninsulated normal, terminals, but that doesn't include this rubber seal. So what I did, I just crimped these by themselves onto the wire and then just slid the rubber seal on top of it. It's probably not perfect, but it's a pretty tight fit here in the plastic housing. As you can see, they're in there. One went in a little far, but there's a lot of compression going on. I don't think they're gonna cause any problem. It's definitely better than doing some weird snipping and soldering and shrink tubing and all that stuff. So I think I'm pretty happy with this, even though I wasn't able to use the proper crimping tool. They do have crimping tools for all their connectors. Would have been $400, and to wire in my third brake light, I wasn't willing to spend $400 on a crimping tool. So that was not in the budget. The reason why I have the second set of connectors, which is a 2-prong or 2-pin connector, is I want to wire in a aftermarket backup camera. And the backup camera here in my application, not saying you have to do it the same way. In my application, the backup camera will be mounted. Let's see if I can close this here. Will be mounted in the factory location, which is right underneath the handle here. There's even a flat spot where I can drill a hole and mount the camera. And it will be powered by the reverse light. The reverse light connector here again had a part number on it. Here in this case, this is 111. What is it? It's dirty. Sorry, can't read it. 1116 something. Let's see if we can read it on here. No, it's not on here. 11149, and this one here looks different, but I've already tried. They fit. So for the backup camera, I'm gonna take the original connector off again, make my own wiring loom that goes in between the light and the connector, and the backup camera will be powered on every time the reverse light turns on. I've already purchased the camera. I've purchased a harness that goes between my head unit. Oh, of course it's locked. My head unit is able to display a backup camera picture. I've already tested this once, so it's working. I just have to run the wiring loom through the vehicle. It's literally one cable, and the cable I'm going to put into some flex loom like this here, the split loom. Yeah, so that's why I bought those connectors. The supplier, Corsa Technic. And yeah, I like this a little better than messing around with the original wiring harness in the vehicle. So in this case, if I ever take the camper shell off for good, don't want it anymore, I can easily remove this, and I have not damaged the original wiring harness. All right, you guys check out Corsa Technic. They have tons of wiring and automotive electrical supply items. I'm really happy, and those connectors are like $4 or $5 a piece plus shipping. So it's a inexpensive way of making proper connections to your vehicle without messing the wiring up. You guys, if you like this little tech tip, give me a thumbs up, please, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.